Hey everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys we're going to talk about a topic that I guess you could say I had about a month or so ago talked about this topic, and I wanted to go more in depth into this topic. And in that video I called it Is YuGiOh Dying? And I had talked about how YuGiOh was kind of evolving, and I wanted to go into some more depth about that video. A lot of you guys had seemed to really enjoy that video and want me to talk more about how I feel YuGiOh is evolving. Oh my gosh, excuse me. Hungry, I guess. But I just want to talk some more about this because you guys had asked about it. So I always try to listen to you guys and try to help you out. So let's talk about this, how YuGiOh is evolving. It is metamorphosizing into something different now, I feel like. Now, I feel that Konami, no matter what we think of it, the company, are trying to take YuGiOh somewhat back to its roots. You can look literally at the last 2 years of Konami releasing product, and you can see, number one, they're releasing very competitive decks. Number two, they are releasing very casual, fun decks. Number three, they're releasing casual, fun decks based off the original anime show, as well as the original animes, and I guess you should say main character decks. Black Wings, Masked Heroes based off Heroes, D-Heroes possibly in the set in November. You know, a lot of these things they've been doing. And I feel like Konami's trying to go back to the roots, because just look at Arc V, really. It has all the different mechanics in it, and Pendulum Summoning is kind of like, granted, I know we all are fearful of the next mechanic, but it's literally helps everything. Just like XYZs help so many different decks, Pendulums can help so many different decks and so many different mechanics because of the Pendulum Summoning. And I think YuGiOh is interested into this. Granted, what we think, we think the game is broken, is entering into this kind of nostalgic phase, I guess you could say. The good old times with new mechanics, new effects. I feel is a good way of phrasing it. And people are afraid the game is going to die out, and that Konami could be doing this because they're going to be ending the game soon. I doubt that. Why would you make a movie and then turn around and end the game? Now, if you've looked at the recent things showing how good the movie did in Japan, it didn't do so well, but at the same time, it didn't go on. It made good money. It made money back, so that's a good thing, I guess. I mean, I don't expect it to be as good as Dragon Ball, Resurrection F, or as popular, things of that nature, but it made money back, so that's a good thing at least, right? So saying that, I feel like Konami, if you look at what Konami's done, you've brought all these nostalgic cards back into the game of YuGiOh. You've gone back to all these older archetypes. You've started to revamp them. I mean, the list goes on and on. If you just look back at the last year, or the last year and a half, and all the archetypes that have gotten support that are GX, the original series, even the 5Ds era have gotten support. I'll just name some off the top of my head. Crystal Beast, the the Archfiend archetype, the Red Eyes archetype, Archfiend, Red Hot Dragon Archfiend archetype, Jax deck, Black Wings, well, they always get support, whatever. Masked Heroes, Monarchs from old competitive decks, decks, Synchrons, Synchros, Blue Eyes, Dark Magician, BLS, Buster Blader, Toons. I mean, I could keep going on here. There's so many. Cyber Harpies, or Cyber Things. Harpies, even a couple years ago. There's been a lot of decks getting old support. And granted, I know Konami's always been going back and giving legacy support, but look how many decks have gotten legacy support that's been good to decent. It really hasn't been trash support, really. And saying that, it means, I feel like, that they're trying to go back to their roots. I've hypothesized, and I'm not saying it's guaranteed to happen, but like I've stated before, what happened over in Japan and is happening now is a renaissance of anime, where you have all these older animes getting revamped, and in the US they're even doing that now with Powerpuff Girls and Teen Titan Go. But you get what I mean. They're kind of revisiting older topics. Granted, whatever you want to think, if people are running out of ideas or not, they're going back to what the 90s kids kind of liked. It feels like with the early 2000s kids, when you were young, that is. So, saying that, I feel like Konami's just trying to go back and harken back to the good old days. I mean, they're giving Celtic Guardian support after how many years? I mean, just think about it. If you sit down and think about it, they're trying to go back to the old days. And only time will tell what happens and how this will continue onwards. Is this just because of the movie? Or are they going to continue this trend? I mean, if Arc V is any indication, look how many older school players, I guess you could say, or older school anime characters have been brought back with with their old archetypes, with new support for those archetypes, or a archetype based off that old support, and breathing new life into it a lot. So at least for another half a year to a year, this is going to continue onwards, I feel like. There's no reason why it won't. And I feel that's just going to continue onwards. And whatever happens after Arc V, if it ends, some people hypothesize that after Arc V, they're not going to do the anime anymore, and then that's going to hurt Yu-Gi-Oh, and then Yu-Gi-Oh is going to go down the drain. Whatever happens, whatever does, I feel like they may try to go back and revamp, do something based off the manga, or revisit, that is. Kind of like what they did with Dragon Ball Z. They made the anime, okay? They made the new movies that came out that were, related to the show, and then about a year later, what happened after they made a movie? They reopened the show. Maybe they'll reopen the show back to original Yugi. We don't know. I have not seen the movie yet, but it's a plausible possibility. I mean, what made Yu-Gi-Oh great was the original characters and how much we connected to them as kids. Granted, you may like the GX era, the 5Ds era, whatever. And I think Bonds Beyond Time was a great example of this, where they brought all those cool characters together. But saying that, I feel like Yu-Gi-Oh is kind of going through a renaissance age. And we may debate here. Some people may feel this is not true, that Yu-Gi-Oh is dying, or Konami trying to milk as much money as they want out of it. And there's that plausibility. Konami's a company, but I don't feel that's true. Konami seems to be trying to do more for the game of Yu-Gi-Oh, for its longevity, rather than its short term, I feel like. They're trying to set it up for success and sustaining it for the long term, like Magic has. Not that, and I'll say this again, not many card games can say they have lasted 20 years. I mean, in Japan. That's a long time. 20 years? And over you in the TCG, it's been out since, what, 2002? That's been over a decade and some change, so about 13 years, 14 years for us. That's a long time for a card game. Yeah, compare it to Magic, yeah, I get it, and Pokemon, whatever. That's a long time for it to be successful. It will probably last more time. I think Konami's trying to figure out what are we going to do for the long term. And I think that's what's continuing. And also, look at the artwork, how much it's changed from the original artwork. I know this is something that people have been wanting to talk about and do a video on, and people have asked me. But if you just look at the older artwork from, just the 5Ds era and the early YuGiOh era till I guess you could say, some of these artworks that they're coming out with now, with how good the artwork looks. It looks so much more better than it used to, I feel like. Granted, I feel like, I'm not talking about the print of the card, but I'm talking like things like the Burning Abyss deck. Okay? The entire Burning Abyss deck looks gorgeous. Noble Knights, gorgeous. Cosmos have nice artwork and a cool, backstory to it. They're basing things with a cool backstory, like the dual terminal. I mean, shadows look beautiful. I mean, you can't deny that their artwork seems to have increased better at Konami's department at some level. It's gotten a little bit more artistic to it. But I just feel like Konami's kind of trying to go through this renaissance. And it's happening very slowly. It's not going to be a change that happens like that overnight. But if you look to where we were just, a year and a half ago to now, look how much the game has changed. Yes, power creep is a thing. Yes, I get all this. But look how much the game has changed and evolved from what it used to be to now. There's been a lot of good positive things, not always negative. Always look at the glass as half full, not half empty. But till next time, guys, take care, have fun dueling, good luck dueling, and tell me what you think about this topic and these thoughts. These are just some things I want to talk about with you guys and discuss. But till next time, guys, take care, everybody, and good luck dueling to all of you.